So growing up, me personally, I was not allowed to play with toy guns. Definitely anything that simulated a real gun or anything like that. As a child, I'm not self-aware of conscious of why. But now that I'm an adult and I'm at the age range where I'm thinking about having kids and just certain things, I totally understand why, right? So just me, from my perspective, not being able to play with like toy guns damn near at all until I got to a certain age. And then like at that age, I wasn't even playing with toys anymore. Let alone a toy gun that looks like a real gun. This is pretty wild to me. So a lot of people will look at a picture of some parents, some black parents with their child and them having a firearm or whatever. And then they'll look, well, how come you guys don't look at white people when white people have pictures of their family and their children with firearms? There's a difference. It's very rare that you see white people just, hey, here's a pistol, giving a fucking 9 to a 10-year-old, right? Usually when they are like showing their kids how to like hold weapons and things like that, keyword, they're actually showing them. They're giving them training, right? Now, if it was just a fucking ghetto white trash ass family that was like, hey, look at my son, he got a 30 or something like that. Okay, then yeah, they should be looked at the same way. The problem is when you see black people doing stuff like that, they're not teaching the kids the proper way to use firearms. They just say, hey, look, my son got a gun. That's so cute. That's so funny, right? Okay, this situation is different. It's not a real gun, right? But it's simulating a real gun. If you never saw a gun in real life before, or just up close, at face value, you'll probably assume that was like a real Glock or something, right? It looks real enough. And that's the problem. It looks real, right? So that's the whole debate, right? If it's not a real gun, what's the big deal? I'm going to tell you what the big deal is, right? I've seen this shit from personal experience. I just lost a younger friend to gun violence about a week ago, right? When I was living in the projects, I used to have my videos, my backyard boxing videos. Well, occasionally I would let like the little kids in the neighborhood, they would always, ring my doorbell. Hey, Jaleel, can you bring your reflex bag out? Can you do this? They would come to the gym with me and all that. Like I watched this one kid grow up, right? He used to get in my boxing gloves. He used to try to hang out with me at the gym, stuff like that. Like I've literally watched this child's voice change. He died when he was 15, right? But my point is, me watching this kid in the projects, right? I remember having a conversation with my mom about this. I remember the kids chasing each other, playing in the back with like little toy revolvers they got from the store. And they're like, pal, nigga, I just shot you, right? And that's when my mom was like, see, that's why I didn't let you guys play with, toy guns when y'all was little. And that's the problem. As a child, the only reason you want to play with a fucking gun, what does a child want a gun for? Because you're trying to emulate what's around you, right? That's the problem, environment. What is a little white kid trying to be when he's running around with a little toy pistol or a Nerf gun or something like that? 9 times out of 10, he wants to be a cowboy. That's like the most common thing I heard. He wants to be a cowboy. He wants to be a police officer, some type of spy agent. They don't have like, drug dealers and, gangbangers and stuff like that. Their culture doesn't glorify that. That's the problem. Ours does. Now, especially if you live in an impoverished, low income environment where that's all you see. Come on now, like connect the dots. Kids want to be what they see, right? So when you're letting a child use or play with something that resembles a real firearm, you're subconsciously telling a child, hey, it is okay for me to pick up a gun. Especially if you're not educating your child like, hey, look, man, a gun is for safety. It's protecting your household. It's to protect your wife and kids. A gun is not a toy. That literally contradicts itself, man. You're going to get a toy, but you want it to be as realistic as possible. Why? What is the point of that? Explain to me how that's not asinine. Now, in this scenario, this kid just happens to be related to a famous rapper from Chicago, right? King Von. There's literally a video that surfaced days before King Von got killed of his little nephew saying, I want to be like my uncle. I want a gun. And I guess they thought it was funny. They really gave this kid a gun for Christmas, and they went to the internet and they posted a picture of it. So, you know, it's the internet. People are gonna react to it. And everybody's like, it's not that deep. It's not your child. Don't worry, that's not your child. People can do what the fuck they want to do. Woo, woo, and all that. It's like, first and foremost, this is why people don't take millennials serious, and they think that people my age range are so fucking stupid, because why would you take your personal life and put it on the internet and then expect nobody to say anything about it or not have an opinion on it, right? I can understand if somebody was criticizing a child itself, like, oh, that's a badass kid. Blah, blah, blah. People are really more criticizing the actions of whoever got that child the toy gun in the first place, right? Telling somebody, doing some dumb shit like that on the internet and then get mad at people for reacting to it is like saying, I'm finna go take a shit on the sidewalk in broad daylight where I know people gonna see me. But don't tell me about it. I just want to take a shit in public. Like, I want to literally walk outside and drop my pants, so you better not say nothing about it. And I come out and instead of saying like, hey, you nasty motherfucker, like, you're just going to take a dump outside in broad daylight, instead of me saying, I'm like, hey, don't you think that's not really something you should do? You need to mind your business. I'm just saying, that doesn't make any sense. But my point in bringing up my friend that just got killed in Harvey, Illinois, is that I didn't watch this dude grow up, and like, I didn't see like how these little kids, how they've tried to mirror what they've saw in their environment, how they've tried to mimic and do the things they saw adults do. And like, all the stereotypes you could pretty much think of, like, I've saw it. Like, I didn't saw some of these kids get pregnant at a young age or have kids at a really young age. I didn't see some of them kids that I watched grow up in the projects literally die or get involved in the same lifestyle that they're trying to emulate by playing with toy guns. My point is, everything is in fact deeper than you think it is. Not everything, but in this case it is. What does a child need a gun that looks like it's real for? He's a child. A child don't even have any comprehension of what the fuck a point of owning a firearm is, right? And the kid, it would be different if this was a kid that nobody knew or anything. But like, he literally said in the video, like, I want to be just like my uncle. I want a gun. Like, I don't know if the people told that kid to say that or not, but like, my point is, they're influencing him on a really like self-destructive level by you giving a child a gun like that looks like real, and just off the strength of like what that child is seeing or whatever, his environment, you're subconsciously telling the kid, this lifestyle is okay. This is okay for me to do. This is normal. I don't see what's so hard to comprehend about that. Like, am I crazy? Like, is it not that deep? And referring back to the whole, oh, you need to mind your business, let people post pictures of their nephew and all that dumbass shit. It's like, you knew why you posted that picture of him doing that. You knew what you was doing. You knew the type of shock value that posting that was gonna get. So you know what you're trying to glorify by giving that child a fucking toy gun that looks like a real gun. Like, people need to stop being in denial about this, right? So that's the problem with our culture. It's like, and it goes into a video I'm finna drop for you guys on Famous Dex right after that. But we glorify all of the wrong shit, right? So let's use King Von example. R.I.P. to this man. I'm not judging him, but I'm just stating facts, right? This is a dude who spent a good majority of his life in and out of jail, then killed a lot of people and shit. Whatever that's near here or there. Like, he's a classic street dude stereotype, you know what I mean? Like, not judging him, I'm just stating the facts. But regardless of your life choices, you want to sell drugs, you want to gang bang, you want to do whatever illegal activity, whatever. Okay, cool. But like, you supposed to want better for your kids, right? You supposed to, the next generation is supposed to learn from your mistakes. So with that being said, why would you want to glorify or pass on the teachings of a lifestyle that's going to get the next generation either on fucking drugs, killed, incarcerated, or a mixture of all of those plus PTSD and mental illness? If you know, look at what happened to him. Y'all know who King Von is. I already know most of you guys do. If you don't, look it up. Y'all know how he ended up getting killed because of the shit he was doing. It's self-explanatory. If you live in that lifestyle, it doesn't matter how it happens. It's inevitable. Dead or in jail. Dead or in jail, right? So with that being said, why would you enable a child to want to look up to that, right? And that's his uncle at the end of the day. Like, I get it. People ain't perfect. I'm not saying fuck King Von or anything like that. If you want to be like your uncle, this is what I told him. Like, hey man, you know, your uncle is your uncle. That's him. You got to be your own man when you grow up. You shouldn't be trying to do everything your uncle did. And when he gets older, explain to him like, yeah, your uncle was living a self-destructive lifestyle, blah, blah, blah. But like, for now, like, he a kid, bro. Like, you're not supposed to be on the same level as a kid. Why would you feed into that? Why? You, as a parent, you knew what you was doing and you thought it was cute and you wanted to get attention for it. You thought it was going to be funny. Well, raising a child that becomes a statistic is not a fucking joke. Because if you tell your child, oh, this is okay, this is cute because you think it's funny, when your child actually gets older and when your child starts going back and forth to jail or something happens, and I'm not wishing anything on that person's their kid or anybody else that might agree with that shit. I'm just stating the facts. I'm just being real. When your child goes in and out of jail or something happens to it, again, knock on wood, are you going to think this shit is funny then? Or you think it's going to fucking be cute? A lot of times we don't sit up and hold people accountable for their actions or tell people, hey, bro, it's you can do this shit differently. You don't got to do that. Why don't you go to school? Why don't you get a trade? Or, hey, that's not okay, bro. You're going to get killed. Or that's not cool. You're hurting your own people. Like, you don't even try it. But then when people actually go to jail or get killed or whatever happens as karma for their actions or negative effects around, then people want to cry and be like, why did this happen? What happened? You know, this is so wrong. Not him. I would have never saw this coming. People will say free the guys, but you're not going to tell one of your guys, hey, bro, cut that shit out. Don't you want to be here for your kids? Don't you want to be here for you? People are not doing that. So my whole point in this whole video is, maybe I'm wrong, but I look at it like, if you think that shit is cool, you part of the problem and you don't have the best interest at heart for the next generation. But whatever, guys.